paren, and the longer we can forestall that, the better, paren, then we can tell them we'll look for other candidates, ask them for recommendations, evaluate the recommendations, interview their candidates, and otherwise run out the clock. This is an email from the Attorney General's Chief of Staff to the White House. All of this should be done in, quote, good faith, quote, of course. Now, when they put good faith in quotes, that tells me they're going in bad faith. They're not going in good faith, but they're giving the appearance of good faith in order to try to run out the clock. Number two, it says officially Tim is the U.S. Attorney and will identify himself as such on pleadings and other official documents. I think it's time for us to refer him as the interim U.S. Attorney in talking points with this understanding that by interim U.S. Attorney, we mean Attorney General appointed, paren, as opposed to presidentially appointed and Senate confirmed, paren, U.S. Attorney. Three, overall, I think we should take the temperature way down. Our guy is in there, so the status quo is good for us. Ask for them to consider him. Note that he is qualified and doing a good job whenever asked. Now here again, they're telling us to tell us that he's doing a good job whenever asked. He hadn't even been in office but one day, I think, when this thing was written. So again, they're setting up a deception on the front end. Pledge to desire a Senate-confirmed U.S. Attorney and otherwise hunker down. Fourth, the only thing really at risk here is a repeal of the AG's appointment authority. And you bet your life that is what's at risk here, because we're going to have that vote later today or tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday or at some point, and absolutely that is what is at risk here, because I think the United States Senate should change that law and should take that provision out of the Patriot Act that they snuck in the dark hours in a conference. We intend to have DOJ legislative affairs people on notice to work hard to preserve this. House members won't care about this. All we really need is for one senator to object to language being added to legislative vehicles that are moving through. There is some risk that we'll lose the authority, but if we don't ever exercise it, then what's the point of having it? I'm not 100% sure that Tim was the guy on which to test drive this authority, but now that getting him appointed was important, but know that getting him appointed was important to Harriet, Carl, etc. I could spend all day talking about this memo, but basically in here they say that the Attorney General is going to tell us, Senator Lincoln and I, about 6 or 7 things, and they did every single one of them. This is the playbook right here. They say, ask the senators to give Tim a chance. Attorney General Gonzales did ask me that. Meet with him. He asked me to, and I did. Give him some time in office. He asked for that, even though usually people don't get a little test drive before they get appointed. He asked me or they wanted to delay and just run out the clock. At one point he said, if I'm not happy, they'll interview other candidates that I'm interested in. They also mentioned for me to consider him and to look at him in a way that he's doing a good job. Well, here again, every single thing in this memo was done. Again, this is the playbook. This is why I feel lied to. And the truth is, I was lied to, because I was told that the Attorney General, and he not only said it to me, he said it to the Senate Judiciary Committee, and he said it to the world. The Attorney General wanted a Senate-confirmed U.S. Attorney in every slot. That is absolutely not true in Arkansas, based on this email from the Justice Department. I assure you, when they put good faith in quotes, that means they're not proceeding in good faith. They didn't proceed in good faith with me, and that's one of the reasons why I think Attorney General Gonzales should resign immediately. I don't think he has the credibility to run that department anymore. Let me tell you this. I was one of 6 I was one of 6 Democratic senators that supported Attorney General Gonzales' nomination and confirmation. I supported the Patriot Act. Not all Democrats did. I've worked closely with this Attorney General. I've always tried to deal with them and reach out to them and have a constructive, positive relationship. I feel like that's what the people in Arkansas want me to do, and that's exactly what I've done. But on this issue, Attorney General Gonzales has broken faith with me, he's broken faith with the U.S. Senate, and he's broken faith with the people of Arkansas. Because when the Attorney General of this country, who I believe should be held to a higher standard, not a political standard, but a high standard of integrity, because he should be all about justice, not politics. He should be all about justice. When the Attorney General lies to a United States Senator, I think it's time for that Attorney General to go. And again, he not only lied to me as a person, but when he lied to me, he lied to the Senate, and he lied to the people I represent. And for that reason, I'm asking him and demanding that he resign today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
The Senator from Arkansas.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I come to the floor to speak on a different matter, but I want to compliment my colleague from Arkansas, who is not only a colleague and a true Arkansan, but a great leader, and I appreciate the passion that he feels and the issues that he deals with, and feel very blessed to have him as my colleague from the state of Arkansas. Many of us feel